literally, so that, and when I took down the ground beef and up to my banana from a half to a full, it got where I needed to be. It was that small of a change, but makes that much of an impact on what I'm trying to achieve at the end of the day. So,
Yeah.
it really, I mean, for me mentally, it makes you just so much more conscientious of what I'm going to put in my mouth, because I'm the type of person that struggled with eating off my kids' plates, finishing their dinner or eating the bag of Cheez Its, or that's not the Triscuits, or I was real snacky. And if you add that up in the course of the day, like those little real snackies end up doing for me where I want to achieve my goals and where I stay stagnant,
Yeah.
right?
For
That
anybody.
small of a difference.
Yes. And then to layer on to that, guys, so like, I think when I hit recording, it went over what Cindy said, but I'm sure she's going to tell you, like, she just upped her almond butter like by a gram or two, like probably. And like literally all of a sudden her fat went up, a percentage, her calories went up. So like, those little things, when you do them and you start to notice, you're like, holy shit, I did not notice. It also, like to what Cindy said, makes it like the reality starts to sink in that when you lick the freaking spoon of the almond butter, seems like, you know, not a big deal. But then you
Yeah.
realize that that spoon of almond butter was a gram, and that gram has this many calories. And over the course of time of doing that, it starts to add up, where it's the same thing where you go, well, silly Jules. Like she's telling us that like your typical almond butter or any nut butter, the serving size is usually 2 tablespoons, which is about 32 grams. Half of that is 16. So I put 16 grams on there. Well, the majority of you, until you started to learn to weigh your food, would grab a tablespoon of almond butter or peanut butter and shove it on there. And I guarantee you, if you weighed that, it was probably 24 to 32 grams. That adds up over time. So like that's where like weight and fat, which is what any nut butter is, 9 calories per gram, guys. That's where fats get very dangerous, healthy or not. Almonds, we go, oh fuck, that's healthy. So I'm gonna have some more almonds. Fuck, one almond can push you up over, like it's got, if it's like, well, one almond is probably about a gram or two, so that's 9 extra calories. You got to start to think about those things. Same with the almond butter. So fats can be slippery slopes. But then, she was short on her carbs, so she had to up her carbs and find different ways to do it. So anyway, good conversation, and I've been having fun playing with you and teaching you and watching you learn.
Yeah.
It's like fun and like learning, like, okay, this is how I do this. And then guys, when you enter everything in, so she's waiting to get it all right. And then, I keep encouraging you guys, enter in a full week, enter in a full week. Why? And somebody just messaged me back and was like, fuck, this is so much easier. I'm like, yes, why do you think I've been telling you this? If you enter in a full week and you just copy and paste, whether you're carb cycling or you're just eating off of a maintenance plan, if you go out to breakfast or something happens and you wind up like, fuck, I don't have this and I got to stop at Starbucks and I'm going to get a healthy option. I'm going to get the egg white bites and I'm going to get the turkey bacon sandwich, hold the cheese. And I like Jules little see, like this was somebody that actually did this. I'm like, then you have the ability to delete it out, put in what you said, what you ate, see it visually, know how it's affecting your nutrition. Also, if every lick, bite, and taste that you have, in addition to your current guide that you're following, whether it's one that you created like Cindy created, or it's one that you're following maybe to a T that I've given you, or maybe it's a combination of two. If you add in the 5 extra almonds or whatever it is, and you're being honest about it, you now start to see, as Cindy just said, those little bites, those little snackies, they start to add up. That's why it's so important to be tracking. If you're not tracking, you're guessing. If you're guessing, you could be under eating or overeating. But that being said, guys, if you Somebody else coming in. If you're not following Becoming Her podcast, I would highly recommend going to Apple or Spotify. I will post it in the group too. And it is also, if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, I have it on my story. So Nicole and I did a podcast together, one of the first of many, over the weekend, and it posted on, she ran it on Tuesday, and it's about food freedom. That's all I'm going to tell you. Every single person on this call, everybody in the community should watch it because it's not what you think. We don't talk about what you think we're going to talk about when it comes to food freedom. And we are pretty open about a lot of things. And we did it because a lot of people hear myself or Nicole talk and think that we mean one thing when we're talking about food freedom, when the reality is we want you to get there, but there are steps that you have to take. So that's what I'm going to say. And a lot of what we're talking about right now kind of falls into place because ideally the goal is to start you here, build a foundation. And just because I'm talking with Cindy right now is to get you to where she is right now, where she's starting to play with these things. And honestly, my bad, I should have had her doing this a long time ago, but getting you to this place because then you start to have that freedom that you're looking for. So I encourage you all, actually, I think I'm posting it. I will post it in there. I want you guys in the Jules Baddies community. I want you all to go watch it when I post the link. And I want you all to come back and share something that you've learned in the community after listening to that podcast. Cool. And if you've already listened to it, you know, some people have already tuned in and you're like, okay. Kelly, you are laughing. You must have listened to it. We were slightly real, were we not? You need some help? Go ahead and share
I got
something.
it.
What'd you learn from it?
Okay, well, it was all great, but when you guys started going at the whole taking bits and pieces from all the different influencers and trying to like make up your own plan and like, how's that working out for you? And even Nicole even admitted sometimes too that it can be a slippery slope and that even you guys can go down that rabbit hole of like, well, maybe I should like think about switching this up or trying this, but um and then the piece that you've kind of set me straight to with the intermittent fasting or keto or some of those other plans, really proving that they are there for a medicinal purpose instead of like a lifelong strategy. That kind of that resonated really well with me also. So it was great. You guys have good camaraderie and I enjoyed it.
Awesome. Glad you liked it. Yeah, we had fun. We've been taught, we talk a lot every day. And finally we were like, we need to fucking start podcasts and some of this stuff. So that was our first of many. So literally that's probably what we're going to do more of is just have conversations back and forth because I think it's super helpful. But to add to like what Kelly said, yeah, we talk about lots of different things, but I'm glad you picked up on that because that's super common. Like, we hear all of these things and, what Kelly's leaning into is we talked a little bit about like, there's nothing wrong with keto. There's nothing wrong with intermittent fasting. And there's places and times for that. But the reality is to understand that what these were created for. So for example, and I believe I even talked about it on the podcast, I recently was my coach had me keto for almost 4 weeks. Why? There was a really big reason behind it. And the reason had to do with inflammation in my body. Now, does that mean that everybody in here is, oh my God, I have inflammation, I should go on keto? No, because I can see some of your brains going, I know you're going to be popping in my inbox. I think I need to do this. No. The other thing that I talked about on there was what, Kelly? Everything is individual to people, very, very specific. There's a reason why I post very little about what I eat in the day. Yes, I will show you on my stories what I'm eating, but who here has ever seen me do one of those influencer reels of what I eat in a day? Ever? I know there's some of you follow me. No, I've never done it. Why? because what I eat in a day has absolutely zero to do with anybody that is following me or anybody that is here. My height, my activity level, whatever the hell's going on in my life, maybe I'm in an off season, maybe I'm competing, whatever it might be, is so different than anybody else. If I start posting that shit just because that's what it does for me, does not mean it's going to do that for anybody else. I refuse to do that. And it really irritates me when I see people posting that. Even my caloric intake absolutely has nothing to do with anybody here. The fact that I went keto for 4 weeks, that's why I don't talk about it very often, is because it was pertained to me, my body, and that point in time. If anybody here has an issue, or I think that that's something that needs to be done, it is definitely something that I would explore with you and bring it up. But it's same with my coach. Like, we made a decision. We were like, we need to try this. And it had to do with very specific reasons. We kept me there for a while. And, it was more medicinal than it was anything. It's the same with intermittent fasting. Like, intermittent fasting, is it a bad thing? Absolutely not. However, it and keto both were created for medicinal reasons. And then basically the toxic diet culture world got a hold of it and went, holy shit, you can lose weight if you're on keto. You can lose weight if you do intermittent fasting, and threw it out to the social media and said, this is a way to lose weight and diet. The reality is anytime that you are controlling your caloric intake, whether it's by omitting something, fasting or keto, taking away carbohydrates, you're going into a calorie deficit. That's the only reason anybody's losing weight. You can lose weight anyway. The bottom line is, whether anybody wants to hear it or not, it's calories in, calories out. Calorie deficit, that's it. That's how you lose weight. There's a lot more to it, obviously, but at the end of the day, that's what it is. So I'm glad you brought it up, because that happens a lot when I get questions about that. What about this? What about that? But at the end of the day, it's usually just about calories in and calories out, and making sure that you're getting the macronutrients that you need for your body. And at over the age of 40, protein is one of the biggest ones, period, the end. And then it's filling in the gaps with the other ones on what you need. Make sense? Make sense? Awesome. Love it. So go watch that. It was very good. It was fun. All right. Hi, Teresa.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are
Good,
you?
good. Hello, everyone.
How are you feeling?
Better. Yep, better recovering from the fall. So yeah, better. I haven't done any arms at the gym, but maybe in a couple of days. But I'm getting there. I can put my arm up and put my hair in a ponytail, so that's good.
We're in progress. I like that.
Mhm.
Everybody watch out for black ice. Yeesh, it's dangerous. You're not the only one, Teresa. There's a couple of you that had a little spill
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
Good. I'm glad you're feeling better.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I see Megan. I see Sarah. Hi, Sarah. I'll wait till you're. Oh, I love it. When she drives, I get to look at her ceiling. Shannon, you've been playing with your nutrition too. You're next on my hit list.
Girl, so
Girl.
how's everybody doing? It's
I'm
good to
gonna hook you and Cindy up in a group conversation. I'm gonna see how much Cindy has learned. Oh, this is a brilliant idea, and have Cindy teach you.
yeah, I was just saying this. Holy crap. Okay, Cindy, I am so happy for you. You got your stuff on the up and up, and it's good to go. So today I had to go to Fort Worth for work. I took my snacks, had my breakfast before I left. Everything was good, and then all of a sudden I got hungry out of nowhere, and I'm looking at my snacks, digging through. And I did a really bad thing, and I'm just, you saw it on my face, didn't you, Jules? That's why you called
Oh,
up.
I didn't. And there's no bad thing. Like, there's
Oh,
no bad thing unless it made you feel like crap.
well, I feel like crap now. I went through the McDonald's drive-thru and got a quarter pound of a cheeseburger and fries. So yeah, I'm gonna pay for that one. But I forgot to even have him take a cheese off. So now I'm trying to get the rest of the day all unjacked. Probably do 20,000 steps a day or tonight.
So no, we don't you cannot outwork shit. Okay, just like the
Okay.
common sense is you can't outwork a poor diet. So you did it, own it, babe, live in it, eat the rest of your food the rest of the day. Don't even try to like you did it. Eat your rest of your meals as they are. But what I want to ask you is why, if you had your food packed and you were hungry, why didn't you eat what you had?
I had all my snacks. I thought I would be back by dinner and then find a little, Mexican restaurants for my chicken taco lunch or even a salad. No, I saw the golden arches and went, Phew. Yeah. So,
So what's
and
the lesson?
I'm sorry.
What's the lesson here? What'd you learn?
Take all the food, not just the snacks, every bit of it.
Yep.
And I was trying to be slick. Usually, I can get away with just the snacks, but not today. Today was not that day.
Mm-mm.
And stay away from those stupid arches.
That's not a bad thing. Well, actually, if you're gonna have a burger and fries as a refeed meal, I'd prefer you not do fast food because all the crap in there. But I mean, it's not a bad thing. And like I said, you just need to finish your day out. Like you're in a place where you're maintaining, Shannon. Like you eating there is not going to blow your complete life. Okay.
Oh, I
Like
know.
it's not. You just need to eat the rest of your meals the way they are. Now, tell me this, because I want this to be like, I want you to learn from this and I want everybody else to. So you packed only your snacks. When did you leave this morning?
That's about 7.
AM?
7. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so why did you pack all your snacks? Like from 7 a.m., like I would have had, if I ate my breakfast at 7 a.m., I would have had my second snack, my lunch, maybe my third snack. Like, why did you just pack snacks when there's meals that come between the snacks?
I thought I was gonna find a little Mexican spot to have my tacos or pull in somewhere and get a salad.
For lunch. Okay, got it. All right.
But
That's what you were trying to tell me. Got
yeah,
it. Mhm.
but that didn't work out. All the food, not just vittles, all of it.
That's actually a good example for the reason, like, because, yeah, if you don't have your trip planned and you don't know, because I've been on the road before and, like, you're right, you come to a Hail Mary and there isn't anything available. Yeah, that's a good point. So, I think your strategy was well, like, learning to, like, you could have stopped someplace healthy, but your lesson there or your learn was, well, shit, there wasn't anything, which sometimes can happen if you don't know your route. So, and that happens a lot with travel too. Like, but it is what it is. Move
It's
on.
the I've fallen on my face, so to
But
speak.
what I would suggest you to do, you have like replace the meal that you had. So this is like where you'll start to see some stuff. I don't want you to skip any meals today, quite honestly. I really don't. But what I do want you to do is I want you to put in your breakfast, put in your snacks, everything that you've ate and whatever in lunch. I want you to delete out lunch and I want you to put in that whole thing. Like, and you can find it in My Fitness Pal. I want you to type in whatever the hell it was. Would you say you had a Big Mac?
It's in there. It's a quarter pounder with
Yep.
cheese.
Put it in there and I want you to eat the rest of your day. And I
Ooh,
don't want you to freak out when you see it.
you already knew. You heard it. Okay.
Nope. Eat the rest of your food and I'm going to be watching.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's no picture there, so don't. But it is in My Fitness Pal. I
Yep.
did put. Oh.
And eat the rest of the food and we'll see like this week like what it did, so you'll be able to see like these were the meals that I was on track, and like there's going to be one that's going to spike to the top, and at the end of the week what you'll see, Shannon, which I'll go over in your check-in, is you're going to be able to see like where the macros went over because of it. You'll be able to see how it affected your distribution, and this will just be like a learn for you and not any other way than like, oh shit, okay, this is cool. Here's how I use the app. Here's how I use My Fitness Pal. Here's how I can see things. Like that's literally what I was saying to Cindy. And like, I want all your meals in because when you do your refeed, I know that this is going to skew everything over here. But now when it skews it, meaning it turns it on its head, we are now able to see that, okay, this is what the refeed did. It increased carbs, it did increase fats, like, and you guys will be able to see it too. I'm less concerned about me and more concerned about you guys being able to go, oh, okay, well, that was a good refeed because this went up here and this went up here. And you'll start to see, because as I explain it to you on your check-ins, you guys will start to learn these things. And then you'll be like, oh shit, that's okay. That was good. Does that make sense? So by you guys doing that, it helps me teach you how to do that. Because between my Fitness Pal and the EverFit app tracking your macros, you have so much information and you can start to see like, okay, that's what this did. Not to mention you can see your belly, like how your belly responds to things. Not like, I don't mean like full or empty. I mean like how your body responds to it. Like, did it react well? Did it not react well? Do I feel like crap? Did I get bloated? You don't know. And literally, like, here's the deal. Like, you might wonder why Cindy eats a burger and fries all the time, guys. It behaves well with her. She just likes the way her body thrives from it. She does well on it. She likes it. She enjoys it. I don't think Michelle is on here, but Michelle, she like will almost always choose, she almost always has sushi. She just loves the way, and it's not because of any other reason than she just loves the way she feels on it. She does eat a burger and fries sometimes, but a lot of times she'll like have something to refeed her. She'll do sushi because she just loves how her body responds to it. Me too. And it can change. Like, I'm the same way. I like sushi. I don't really like to do burger and fries. It doesn't really behave well with me. I don't like the way I feel on it. I don't like the way I feel if I have ice cream. Like, I've learned my body so well that there's certain things that I just don't like to do, even though I can, I don't, because I don't like the way that I feel. And anytime I play with it and I do it anyway, the next day I'm like, oh fuck, what the hell did I do that for? It's just not worth it to me. So, good lesson, Shannon. Thank you for sharing. You're gonna learn. Good. Great. Love it. Who's over here? Oh, it's Diana. I'm like, who's the blurry? What am I looking at right now? Hi, Diana. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing well.
Hanging in there.
Hanging in there. Any
Yeah.
updates?
No, not so far.
No? All right.
Yeah.
Doing well, though?
I'm sorry?
Doing well, though?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. I'm still waiting for that first million.
Me too.
Anybody have anything that they want to ask or share? So far, it's been a good conversation. I love it.
What is a good warm up for before you go in and lift weights?
Generally I will have like something written in your workouts, but the best way to warm up is just on a treadmill, bike, whatever. Just give yourself like 5 minutes of moving at a really slow pace. You don't have to, like, for me, I'll give you an example. For me, like, I can actively walk at anywhere from 4 to 4 point, like, I have long legs, right? So I can do an active walk at about 4 miles an hour. So if I'm warming up in the gym, I'll just pop on the treadmill and I'll walk at like 3.5 or something just to get the blood moving before I start to work out. So basically, most warm-ups, like walking on a treadmill, getting on a bike, something like that, all you want to do is just get the blood starting to move through the body before you go work out. You can do some stretching, if it's a part of your body that maybe requires a little bit more stretching. I personally stretch in between sets. So like my downtime, I will feel like, I was just thinking about it because I was doing it today. Today I had the kitchen sink day. Like, Jesus Christ, literally I had the kitchen sink thrown at me. But I had worked my chest earlier. So like I naturally can feel like when I need to stretch something. So I'll just start stretching in between sets. But you can also, like, if you know what it is, like sometimes do like, chest openers before a chest day, stretching out your tricep before a tricep day. But you don't, that's like a lot for shoulders. There's certain workouts, like guys, that I will specifically put warm outs in there because you have a tendency to hurt yourself if I don't. But if you guys don't have a tendency to do that, I don't. So like shoulders, a lot of times you'll see me put some type of rotator cuff in there, because most of you will dive into shit and you won't always work your shoulder right. So a lot of times I will give you like a banded rotator, or I'll have you laying and I like literally tell you to do high reps with light weights. I'm just trying to like lube up your shoulder a little bit. That's usually the one that I'm the most concerned about, that you guys will, if you don't like warm it up properly, you'll do damage. But for the most part, just walking, you just want to get blood moving through your body. So when you go to work up, that blood is just pumping.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Jules. Thanks.
Cool. Hi, Sarah.
I'm going through a car wash right now.
Oh, I love it.
How's it going?
Good. How are you feeling?
It's okay.
Good.
I'm staying positive.
Good.
So that's good. I gotta watch that podcast you were talking about, though. I haven't watched that podcast yet.
Yeah, it just came out.
So that is on my to-do.
Yeah, you'll
Okay.
love it. Yeah, and I think I
Awesome.
don't know if you saw your I did do your check-in too, gave you a little feedback too.
Yes.
But
Yes, I appreciate that. I guess my only like what I'm trying to get better at is finding things on my Fitness pal when they're not on there. So like when we went out to Italian and I put in the meatballs in the salad, I picked Maggiano's even though it wasn't Maggiano's. It was this little like mom and pop place in California. But I figured if one restaurant does it, maybe it's the same, because I don't really know. Like when it's not listed, I'm not sure what to put it in because I don't know how it's made.
So that's a very good question. And sometimes that can, like, if you're in a, like you said, a mom and pop restaurant, like that can be tough, or you're in a restaurant, like most chains are in there, but as you know,
Right.
other aren't. I would lend myself more to just picking the actual foods versus the restaurant. Like,
Okay.
I literally would do that. I put in meatballs because honestly, and then just make sure it has a green check behind it, and then try to like obviously figure out how much it weighs.
Okay.
You guys have been doing this for a while. I mean, you got a couple of choices. You can have a freaking scale in your purse if you want, or you just got to think about like, you can use the palm size thing, like that's 4 ounces. Like you can kind of do that. Or you can ask them too, like, hey, I just want this much, protein, this much, like, you can ask too, or you can eyeball it and then just make sure like, okay, this looks like about however many ounces it was. That's what I would do though, Sarah, like when it's a nicer restaurant or like a mom and pop, I would lend myself to choosing more just the basic item. And then just remember too, like with some things, like you can ask them how they cook it too. Like I get meatballs, that's a rough one. But like if you're ordering steak or chicken or something like that, you can always ask them like, how is this cooked? And they'll tell you like it's cooked in oil, it's cooked in butter. And again, if you don't want that, like, because now it becomes that unknown fat, right? You're like, shit, I don't know how much butter they put in there. I don't know how much, like, it's not like it's a bad thing to have, but you don't know because you're not measuring it, which is what you're thinking. Like, I'm not measuring like the amount of oil or fat they're using to cook in it. So it's not necessarily that that's a bad thing. It could be a very healthy fat. So then in that case, I usually will pull out I have a dietary needs card. And I'll ask them to just cook it like without oils and to give me something on the side. That way, then I can control it of like how much fats. But like with the meatball thing, like I get you, like, but it didn't harm you. Same thing I'll say that I said to Shannon, like, which is what you did, just roll with it, And the cool thing about that is like, then we get to see, oh, hell, your body behaved well to that type of thing. Okay. Like it allows us to see, like, it's not like it would be an everyday thing, but again, sometimes there's certain things that you eat that might be off and the body does a good response to it. Now we can look at the macros that you took in and go, oh, that's interesting. That behaved well. Maybe we need to do that again. Maybe we need to make those changes in your nutrition. Make sense?
Yeah, makes sense. Thank you.
You're welcome. I love questions. Keep them coming. So, I listened to the recording from this morning's call as well, if you haven't. So I won't do it again here, but you'll hear it if you listen to this morning's recording. I think I recorded this one. Yeah, I'm recording this call too, because you guys usually ask way different questions than everything. But I see you, Sarah. Hold on a second. Make sure that you watch this evening's or listen to the recording of this morning's call, because I do something that's kind of interesting in there. Yes.
I was wondering where the recordings are now, because I used to be able to find them in on YouTube,
Yep.
and
Same
now,
place.
okay, because I hadn't seen anything since January. I
Nope,
don't know
they're all
why
in
it's not
there.
updating. Okay, I'll have
It
to
is.
look again.
Yeah. And guys, if you want to get the direct link to the YouTube channel, so they all update. So if you once you understand what channel it is in, it's Tribe Talk, you can always just check in there. But I have the actual channel linked in your resources. So if you go to Coach Jules resources that I have you all in, and you go down to Convos with Jules, like I don't update it in there. I just have the direct link to that playlist that has all the combos in it, and I try to date them. So the cool thing for some of you guys that are new, that like they're literally all in there. So you could like binge watch them and go all the way down to like before I was in, like, so they're all in there from when I like anything that I have done and recorded is in there from day one. I haven't always recorded them all, so you guys could go back and listen to different ones. And if I do record them, yes, I upload them in there. Like today, I attached the link, to in the comments. So you guys can just click the link, but I don't always do that. So yeah, you like on Tuesdays, I would give me till like Wednesday morning. Usually I try to upload them right after, but just go into that actual playlist, which again, if you miss it, you can't find it, like where the hell is that YouTube channel again? You can find it in Combos. But I've told a couple of people, just hit subscribe. Not because I want you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, but if you hit subscribe, anytime I update something, and usually all I'm throwing in there is usually stuff like this, you'll get a notification from YouTube that I just updated something. So you'll know that I updated a new video. So you can do that too if you subscribe. But yeah, they're all in there, Terry. Like anything that I have recorded, if I didn't record something, it's not in there. But I just looked at it this morning when I uploaded it, and they're all in there. Because I just went in and actually redid some thumbnails on them too, so they look cute.
Okay, I'll take a look again. I don't know why I wasn't able to find the updated ones, but I'll look. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, and I did see I listened to the podcast and it was really good.
Yeah.
I liked how you talked about the cookie cutter, how not everybody's the same, obviously. So you have to change things. And yeah, everybody gets in this, mindset that, yeah, me included, obviously, but that I have to just kind of roll with it and learn how to adjust, or stick with the plan and then adjust the macros, because your stress level, your sleep, so many things come into play. So, yeah.
It's very true. Somebody just messaged me today. They're usually on this morning's call, and like they were like, no big deal. I'm not concerned. I went up point blank, of a pound, but I'm wondering what I did to have that happen. And I was like, life was lifing. and she was like, well, I went out to, a few restaurants, but I ate like basically what was on my nutrition plan. And like, it was funny because the comment was like, well, it's no big deal. But then all of a sudden we started dissecting it. It was like, well, maybe it's the seasonings that I'm using. I'm like, salt and pepper? Not really. Like, but like the reality is, and I'm glad Terry brought it up, is life is gonna life. Like, and that you're going to have, even if you're following the nutrition plan, like there are so many things that can factor in each week to things. Like, and that's why I love your weight, your pictures, and your forms. Like, that's why literally that's my job, right? I can literally look at these things, and based on your responses, your weight, and your pictures, I can generally nail what might be going on. That's why the forms and everything are important. Not always, but like sometimes it's just life is lifing. And like literally, this is what I said to her. I'm like, well, you had things that you were out of your normal. Like nothing was wrong, nothing was bad, nothing was off. Like, yes, you did really good, did everything right, but it wasn't your normal thing. Your body knows this shit. It's okay. It's no big deal. Like my body fluctuates literally, guys. You would die. Like I can't weigh myself every day. I will fluctuate up to 4 pounds during a week. God help me if I got on the scale every day. And I had to at one point in time because we were trying to figure something out with my body. I was like, Jesus Christ, do I have to get on the scale? And I literally had to get on the scale because we were trying to find a trend. So it was part of my like responsibility to figure this trend out with my coach of what in the hell is going on here. But like and you got to realize, even if I did it at the same time, every day, every morning, which is like, so there's that thing. So if you weigh yourself at different points and times of the day, that's going to factor in because you got more water in your body, you got more food in your body. But here's the other reality. If you're on a carb cycle, you got high and low days. So even if you weigh yourself every morning when you get up on an empty stomach after you've used the restroom, but you're doing it every day, that's going to affect it. If you happen to drink, I don't know, 1/4 gallon more of water, which is not a bad thing, it's a great thing, that'll affect it. If you, instead of you drank 100 ounces or 20 ounces less of water, guess what? That'll affect it. If you're on your cycle, guess what? That'll affect it. If you stopped eating at, say, 6:30 one day, and then one day you got up late and you didn't, and your last meal was at 9 o'clock. You still were like eating every 3 hours or whatever, everything was on point, but your day was off. You got up a little later. That'll affect it. Make sense? Like you can't like all of those things will factor in. So, I mean, good point, Terry, like all of these things matter. And so that's why I encourage you guys, even as you try to, like, even as you go on into the future, your life, and you start doing things on your own, like, don't ever weigh yourself. Like, I think it's a good idea. And I always will keep track and do check-ins with myself, even if I'm not working closely with my coach at the time, even if I'm in my off season and I'm intuitively kind of eating, I still check in with myself, but I'd only do it on a weekly basis because there's so many factors. Gucci. And that's, like on the podcast, we talked a little bit about that. Like intuitive eating, I call it flexible nutrition. That's the goal, is to get you to where you're flexible. And flexible is going to look different for everybody. Flexible could look like it looks like for Cindy. And quite honestly, myself. I want to be structured 90% of the time, but I have the freedom to do what I want every once in a while. I don't like to not be structured. I literally, and Cindy is very much like me. It's funny because I watch what she eats and I'm like, she's like a little mini me. I don't know if it's on purpose or accident, but like, I love fucking chicken and rice. Like I know it's like, everybody's like, do you have to eat chicken and rice to lose weight? No, you don't. But I happen to fucking love the shit. Like I could eat chicken and rice all day long, every day. I just
You
love
have
it.
have many Jules walking around the world.
But that's just a preference of mine. It doesn't mean that I have to eat it. I also like ground turkey, mashed potatoes, and green beans. Like, it's one of my favorite meals. It's ridiculous, but I love it. I love weird ass shit. Like, if you do watch what I post on social media when I eat, like, I tell people, I'm like, I'm a weirdo. Like, I literally like that food. When my coach put me keto, I could have cared less. He's like, are you okay? Like, he's like, is this starting to bother you? Or are you having like, I'm like, no, I'm cool. I'm fine. He's like, are you sure? Like, are you doing all right? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm like, carry on. And I didn't care at all. Like, I literally did not care. I even thought it was odd. I'm like, yeah, I don't really miss it at all. My lifts are fine. I'm doing well. I know I need the carbs. I know I look flat as fuck without them, and I'm not appreciating this look much, but I'm okay. A few more carbs now. Make sense? So, good point, Terry. Everybody's different. Yeah. And all of these things, they just factor in. But that's the idea here, is to get you guys to this place, whatever it looks like for you, like to a place where you start to really understand your body. So to me, the word intuitive doesn't, like, where I get upset where influencers say, oh, just intuitively, oh, fuck. If you don't understand, which is the kind of what we were talking about on this podcast, if you don't understand how to fuel your damn body, if you don't have a foundation, you start intuitively eating like the influencer says, you're going to intuitively eat a box of cookies. Facts. You're going to intuitively do, like, you're going to navigate to the stuff that tastes good until you build a foundation. You're like, holy shit, this really feels good. This fuels my body. I like the energy. Then you're less intuitively to eat the Triscuits, as Cindy was talking about. You're less intuitively going to do all those little things because you're like, well, fuck, I don't really like the way I feel. And when you do it, you do it with purpose. You don't do it just because, So I do believe in intuitively eating, or what I prefer to call, getting to a place where you're a little more flexible. But when you're there, like, you are literally planning, you are no longer flying by the seat of your pants ever again. You'll never fly by the seat of your pants again, because you won't like the fact that at the end of the day, you're going, fuck, I don't have my protein in. God damn it. You won't want that. Whether you're tracking or you're intuitively tracking, you're going to start to understand these things. And you'll be like, that's where that freedom starts to come in, because you're like, well, no, I eat protein with every meal. I eat this much of protein. I know that I eat carbs before and after and I know these types of carbs make me feel good. And like, you just intuitively will start to plan your own stuff. And some of you won't. Some of you will utilize the meals that you've saved in MyFitnessPal because you're like, fuck it, I'm going to try to create my own nutrition plan. But when you do things that are more like, hey, I really want this type of thing, you're going to intuitively know, like the donut won't call your name because it's sitting there. It'll call your name because it's like, oh my God, I haven't had a pink box donut and I don't know how long. And I hate donuts, by the way, but I'm just using this as an example. And oh my God, that, like, every year this flavor comes out and I wait all year for that flavor. That's the difference. And you're not going to sit down and eat a dozen of them. You'll probably have one. You'll have 2 or 3 bites and you'll be like, ooh, that was good. And you'll be done. Where before it was like, well, I'm intuitively just going to eat donuts because I want them, kind of thing. Like, that's what I don't like about all the influencers talking about intuitively eating, because until you understand how to feel your body, that's exactly what you're going to do, because you don't know. But once you understand it, then that isn't a problem anymore, because you now know what makes you feel good. You know how to, like, satiate your body and actually eat more food, but actually eat less. which is where you all were before. I don't eat much, Jules. I don't eat much, Nicole. If you were in Nicole's inbound, I don't eat much. I promise you I don't. I probably only eat 1,200 calories a day. And then we watch you on your onboarding week, what you're eating. We're like, you ate about 3,000 calories, but I don't eat much. Right. You're eating food that is calorie dense and is about this much, but at the end of the day, it adds up. Where now, like here's a fun fact too. Many of you went, God damn, who in this call was like with me from the beginning? And the first week I gave you your nutrition plan, you were like, holy shit, this is a lot of food. I cannot eat all this. Yeah. Why? Because I literally had you at a calorie deficit. And what did I say to you, Sarah? What did I say to you, Terry? Eat all the food. You're in a calorie deficit. The difference between what you were eating and what we had you start eating in a calorie deficit is one, you were eating in a surplus before, but you didn't know it because of the types of food that you were eating. So they were calorie dense. Now we have you in a calorie deficit, but we're feeding you food that keeps you full. So it's like the little pile of almonds to the big chicken breast. Like it's like a lot, you see a lot of this online where they'll show you like this little amount of food that's 650 calories, and over here there's a big pile of food. I even think I did a reel on this that's only 300 calories. That's what you were doing. So then it's like, I can't eat all this because you're now fueling your body with proper food, and you're not eating this small little processed food that's calorie dense but has no satiating abilities to it. It won't keep you full, nor does it have any nutrition. So, but you learn to do that, and then everything's Gucci. All right. I have talked for almost an hour. So hopefully you guys got some good information out of this. Before I close out, does anybody have any questions for me? No? All right. Watch the podcast when I post it. I will pop this recording in as well because I'm pretty sure I'm recording it into the playlist, and this morning's is actually attached and it is uploaded, so you guys can go listen to that as well. Okay? Have an amazing day, guys. Peace. What's left of it.